Hello and welcome to another episode of Keister, the Real Talk Show with me, your stunning host, Keister. Our guest for this episode is a power woman. She's a radio and TV presenter, an activist lawyer, and senior litigation advisor at Purposeful. She was previously a state counsel at the Ministry of Justice and a senior defense counsel at the Sierra Leone Legal Aid Board. She also serves as the General Secretary of the General Legal Council, the authority responsible for regulating the legal profession in Sierra Leone. Currently, she is at the forefront of efforts to advocate for explicit laws that ban the practice of female genital mutilation and advance abortion justice in Sierra Leone. Who is she? Find out right after the break.
Let's watch The Real Talk with Leone TV show. By our very own daughter of Sierra Leone, Leone Keister.
Welcome back to Keister, the Real Talk Show. With me, I have the beautiful Nicky Spencer-Coker in the building. Hey, how are you, girl? What's going on?
I'm doing real good and happy to be here.
All right, cool. As I said earlier, of course, she's doing a lot. Lawyer, TV, you know what I mean, radio personality. I mean, she's not living that. Of course, you don't MC all over. I don't do so many things. And of course, an activist as well. A power woman. But anyways, you go, girl. You go, girl. I mean, you're doing a lot and you're an inspiration to a lot of, young women coming up. Basically, what you're showing is you can still have a professional career and still do entertainment. What make I bring down the all? Because normally, dandy people think you feel people are really maybe on radio or TV, then they're educated. But look at you. But anyways, tell me first of all about the entertainment part. How did you get into it?
Okay, so I'm sure that if I wasn't born of African parents, probably I would be completely inside the entertainment, because entertainment is something I don't do from way as small. Actually start off, the usual school plays, the usual, always involved in musicals, this, that, and the other. By the way, I sing, but only in church.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Then when I came salon for Form 1, so I not grew up in a salon, I grew up in Liberia.
Okay.
But when I came salon for Form 1, when my parents send me come, we even get a friend of the family who was actually a boyfriend of a cousin, older cousin. But even they into entertainment, if you like for managed groups and this and that. And that was in the 80s, in the era of all the miming dance. Dance. So we were a member of this group called Generations.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like the young, small female in with all these other boys who were break dancing and everything else, and we were just miming, dancing. We'd go all over the place. We'd go up Fabre College, we'd go Freetown City Council, it was then, we'd go everywhere. It was that dancing thing, and that's where my name Nicky came from.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously my full name now Onike, but Nicky, they would call me Nicky.
From you're the original Nicky then.
Always. So that continued even when I left salon, go boarding school in England, plays, musicals, always involved in productions of something, right? Then myself I could produce people there for dance, I could produce there for fashion shows, all that stuff. So I continued, went on into college, it continued doing fashion shows in college.
Wow.
And of course that's when I was getting into my activism as well, a lot, because when I went to university, that's when I really get into a lot of race consciousness activism and also feminist activism.
Okay.
So, but the entertainment stuff was there. But in terms of professionally now, that happened when I returned to Sierra Leone again, finally. And that's when I came with my husband and my family.
Okay.
And then he was working at Comium, and we were doing entertainment things, and we had an entertainment company called Supreme Inc.
Yeah.
And so then I was doing it, like managing artists and then myself now with a microphone, which I've always been comfortable with. I don't
really?
ever
so
get,
it wasn't
no.
Okay.
I don't get nervous with a microphone.
So you dialect that basically, is that what you're saying?
I don't know if not dry, because in person, my voice very high.
Okay.
It's and it's small, but on a microphone, it's not.
It's
Well,
not.
you've
I know, I've heard
right?
you before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're right. So somehow or other my voice lends itself to the microphone, and then I've never been nervous in front of the microphone. So that just started, and then somebody, same way, friend said, "Man, your voice, I hear you need for the on radio," and then that's how it started.
And the thing is, you're still doing it, you know. And like, I mean, like I said, she's a lawyer, so it's like you're an entertainer. I mean, then the law thing. Besides being the activist, like you were saying, you started from there. So how you just sit down for say, okay, I want to be a lawyer then. You know, you didn't want to be a doctor. You didn't want to be any, you know.
No, I didn't want to be a doctor. Not only did I not want to be a doctor, but my maths will not allow me to be a doctor.
Ooh, me too.
Right? So any lawyer will tell you that, hey, mathematics, no. Science, well, I was good with the sciences, but not with maths. Maths is terrible, terrible. But anyway, although, of course, now I need to know my maths for my money, but that's another thing. But no, the law, I actually not ever think of any other profession other than the law.
Okay.
And always been a fan in the United States of them legal programs, anything legal, law and order, and true crime, you know, the wife killing the husband, how many, you know,
right, all of these things.
All of that, Snapped, this, that, the other, whatever it is, Ally McBeal, all the you know, legal shows, and I was always fascinated by that. And obviously in America, in order to get a law degree, you have to get a first degree, so if your first 4 years bachelor's. Right. I'm a political science
major.
So
okay.
that's why that whole social consciousness, political stuff,
everything just came about.
Exactly, and then law school after that. And the law school that I went to is known as a public interest law school. So then they train lawyers for be social activists.
Okay.
For be involved in legal issues to benefit those who can't afford, you know, and so that done day inside me, and it just seemed for me the pathway. It just seemed all things just come together nicely in terms of my own passions for activism as well.
Okay, all right, cool. I mean, I think that's really, really cool. But have you, did you practice the law as in being in court and all that? Because I know a lot of lawyers, you know, the different types. Did you? Okay, I didn't know that part. Just curious.
I was a state counsel.
Okay.
I was a state defense counsel. I still practice the law right now.
Okay.
I only do radio on the weekends now. I only do radio one day of the week. So now that's my profession. You know, that's my full-on profession. Radio keeps me sane.
Okay.
Right? Because that keeps the entertainment part. If you have that artistic bent a little bit, you need the outlet. Okay. But that's not my it's not my primary means of livelihood.
Right. You're just doing it because of the passion and everything else.
Yeah.
And you wake up every Saturday morning.
Yeah, that's hard.
I mean, I don't even see myself working on a Saturday.
Commitment.
Imagine Monday through Friday, you have a job, you're an activist, you're doing all of these things, and then Saturday morning. Yeah. I mean, I'm on Friday, I'm chilling, so I don't want to wake up Saturday morning.
Now, imagine,
that's the part I admire. When
I first started doing radio, before I went back into my profession full time, because then my kids were babies, so doing that was more flexible. Okay. But I was doing it 6 days a week. I was doing the breakfast show 6 days a week. Okay. Yeah. So 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. That time. But then once I was done because I wasn't really, aside from the management stuff, I wasn't doing anything else. I had my babies. Okay. And, sometimes when I don't get nanny and somebody, don't show up, I get for this studio 6:30 in the morning. Now, of course, I don't do it so long that I can literally get into the studio where,
Yes, definitely.
You're in.
You're in.
1 minute to 7. Up goes the fader. You know what you're doing, right?
You know what you're doing, so it doesn't really take long to prepare for it.
And it's radio, so I can look like I rolled up. That's what I love about radio as well. You don't have to do the whole glam thing. So for years, I was very comfortable being on radio because people would recognize my voice. Then so exactly, I can go inside supermarket or something, I talk, and then
the voice. I get that all the time too.
But now because I've done things, the emceeing and doing TV, so people didn't recognize you. But that was the good thing about the radio because you show up, and then I had these babies. Sometimes you're not getting any. I could just choke there. I go to the O2, put them at the ground at the studio. Then I do.
You do your thing.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful part of a radio. But anyways, I don't want you to go anywhere because I'll be right back after this commercial break.
Small businesses are not small. They keep you pumped. They keep you learning. They keep you healthy. They keep you stylish. They keep you fed. Happy birthday to you. They keep you smiling. We can do all of this because they keep us moving. At UBA, we keep your small business moving because your business is big business. Ready to get moving?
Welcome back to Ellen Keister, the Real Talk Show. If you just walked in, I have Nicky Spencer-Coker, a lawyer and an entertainer, of course, an activist. She's everything and doing it all. Welcome back, Nicky. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Let me make up my business. I can proud for call all the titles there because I want to let people that know say, yeah, the people
You
out there
forget
who's
one,
doing all of this.
also not the Secretary of the General Legal Council. Which,
Did you hear that?
Yes, the General Legal Council is the body that regulates lawyers in the legal profession in Sierra Leone.
Yes. Yes, you get for other parts of the year. But anyways, you're the senior legal advisor for Purposeful.
Yes.
First of all, let's talk a little bit about Purposeful. What do they do? Because I know they advocate for girls. Because I remember I had that conversation. Of course, I've had Siba here, who's now the minister. And we were talking about, I said something about women. He was like, no, Eileen, it's girls, not, women and things like that. So, I mean, why girls to begin with? And what do you guys really do?
It's a feminist hub, African feminist hub, and very an NGO that's all of these things is not normally headquartered and based and founded and centered around Sierra Leone, but this is. Of course, it has offices not just in Sierra Leone, but other parts of the continent as well. But it is focused on girls' activism, girls' resourcing, girls' allyship, supporting all those kinds of things because, obviously before they get to be women, they're girls first.
Right.
And if we are to have activated fully into their persons women, you're not going to necessarily start when they're women. You hopefully start, when they're girls, when they're adolescent girls. Adolescent girls face a host and a myriad of challenges, but the interesting thing is a lot of times they already have the solutions for their issues and their problems. What they need is a platform for somebody to listen to them and somebody to resource them. I'll just give you one brief example of that. We have what is known as the Girls Circle Collective. And with what's known as this Mentors Academy, which are older girls. So basically, we resource these girls in a host of ways, through providing them with information through our radio programs, through direct grants in which they then come together and decide what they're going to do with that. In their collectives, they're paying school fees for each other. Whoa. They're making sure that maybe somebody has a medical emergency. They're able to pool that money together. They make business money for go. So I mean, money moves the world, by the way.
Right.
Sometimes money is not the solution to every problem. But what you find is sometimes what you need is to give people that out. So they can find their solution, so they can move to that next step, so they become, activated and actualized. So we really believe in, if we want that world of safety, dignity for women, you start off with ensuring that you're providing these avenues for girls. Now, the work that I do is in the back end of that, because whilst you're trying to make sure that you do all this support and activism for girls, when they come into the world down the line, if the world that we are preparing for them for is nothing like what do? We need to then push for changes in laws, in attitudes, so what I do, a lot of the work that I do is the challenges, the things that are going to hold these girls down. For example, getting them involved in early child marriage, in FGM, in not providing them with safe and reproductive health choices, the ability to choose when and how they have children, or if they have children at all of those kinds of things.
So you mentioned the challenges. So these are the challenges?
Well, yeah,
So I know you got to deal with the parents and everything else. What if you have a situation where, the parents, of course, they from wherever and they believe in these things, but then the girl. So these are the things you fight for. Make sure the girl gets the rights.
Yeah, and Ellen, let's be real. I mean, law doesn't change everything.
Okay.
But sometimes when you get to the point where you have the law in place, it allows and creates the space then for you to continue to change the attitudes and work with the communities.
Okay.
Right? So the revolution will not be litigated is what we movement lawyers say. It won't be litigated. You can't litigate revolution. Okay. But it's a tool in the process, right? The law is a tool in the process. So, for instance, in Sierra Leone, for decades, women, and specifically women, gender activists, feminist activists, women have been pushing for a reproductive health bill in Sierra Leone, whatever terminology you want to use.
Right. So what does that cover? Like when you say reproductive health?
Well, I mean, think about it. Everything that it encompass.
Okay.
I mean, so just ensuring that our government makes sure that the health and well-being of all of its citizens is their maximum priority. And so that means that you provide people with the ability to have access to contraceptives, and not just the contraceptives, but information about contraceptives all over the country, not just in the capital cities.
So as far as FGM, you mentioned that, I think I said it earlier, like what if certain people come from a different, like a family. So have you had cases where these girls come to you because they don't want to go through it, or you guys are just really pushing for it because you think it's not good for the girls? Because for me, for example, I come from that family where, it's part of us. Even though I was young, I didn't really know what it was. It was a thing where it was like cool, because like we were, the Timney side is more like, if you not go, then that means say, in for they with the big one them, and me now big man for they with the big one then. So now maybe the first people that say, I need to go, you understand what I mean? But I mean now, in some ways I kind of look at it like, what if? But then I'm like, it doesn't really affect me sexually.
It doesn't affect you.
Right.
So, Sierra Leone. First, let me just say, as an organization, both individually and the organization that I work with on this particular issue, we're completely aligned. So I'll just say that. But as a feminist organization, our position is no FGM whatsoever. It doesn't matter the age. We believe that it is an act of violence against women. We believe that it is an act and systematic of patriarchy. That is not just a thing on its own. That is just one more thing in the cog, in the wheels, in the ways of oppression of girls and women. That's what we believe. We also strongly believe that our culture is beautiful.
Right.
And FGM, we believe, is not the culture. And it can be separated from the culture. And I say that in full confidence because I know it's being done in Sierra Leone right now. Right. So it is possible for us to celebrate our culture, to have beautiful, female-only sacred spaces without the harm. And no one would be in the business of even being concerned about what happens if harm wasn't being done. Right? If people weren't being maimed, if there wasn't bleeding, if there wasn't showing up in hospitals and having to fix things, if there wasn't death, right?
Pause right there. Don't go anywhere, because I'll be right back after this commercial break.
for renew my vehicle insurance and driver's license. Oh no, time don't go safe. And this agent self not a picking call. How I go do now? My insurance self don't expire.
You want to say you know your yet but Smart Pay?
Smart Pay?
Smart Pay don't come for make it easy for me and you. No need for left your office again or else for go do renewal or even call agents. You can simply go online and visit their website on www.smartinsuresl.com for renew insurance or www.slrsaonline.gov.sl for renew license. All you need for doing for complete the online form, submit them, and then pay with SmartPay.
SmartPay don't make life easy for we salon people. With just this my cash card, I use them for pay bills na restaurants, supermarkets, and I can even use them for buy tickets for events, pay university fee. And all done deal, I even use them for pay ETSA, prepaid and postpaid. And I even use this same card for shop online with no cause to complain. Because you can put as much money as you want inside this card.
Not forget about the gift card which you can use for gift posting. In fact, me right now, I they accept no gift if you know they in the form of SmartPay gift card because I can use that also I want and how I use them.
Eddie Mamina you get. Yeah? Before I forget, una went into sports betting. SmartPay don't make it easy for una for place una bet and collect una winning. They allow go do one time online.
You don't get your Smart Pay? Go cashless with Smart Pay.
Doro World Traveler. How is your Miami vacation going?
Fine, babe. I'll be back next week and I've bought you a lot of things.
Well, I hope the designer bag you promised is included. No excuse this time.
That expensive bag? Babe. I am now in Malaysia.
UBA cards work from Moscow to Malaysia, from Malaysia to Miami. Bros, you can't escape this time.
Hell. Babe, are you there? I can't hear you again, oh. Your line is breaking. Hello? Hello? Wherever you travel in the world, don't go without your UBA card. UBA, Africa's global bank.
I am still here. Welcome back to Ellen Keister, the Real Talk Show. If you just walked in, I have Nicky Spencer-Coker, a lawyer and an entertainer, activist. And one more. You talk about it back like I've been talking about Ali.
We're about the section of the GLC.
Welcome back. Before we went on the break, we were talking about something really important.
Yeah.
Where I think you actually said you can sit here and say it in confidence that we can have a culture, which is beautiful, but the FGM of what they do can be separated. So can you continue with that conversation? Because
well, I mean,
somebody might be watching now and thinking about, but not in that culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and then that's a problem, right? If the culture, if the justification for a culture is harm, then you have to evaluate that culture.
Okay.
But when you go back a little bit and you reverse and talk about what is our Bondo? What is our Sunday? Is it just this? And I'm not talking about something, I'm not talking about what's happening inside because I am not a member. Clear, right? But as an ally of those who are survivors and now activists against the practice, and as a Sierra Leonean woman, I will speak on those things that affect girls and women in Sierra Leone. Right.
So when okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So now to the you're talking about is it possible? It's called Bondo without blood, right?
Okay.
It is being done in communities around the country, pioneered by a Bondo woman, a survivor, a cut woman, by the name of Rugiatu Nene Toure. She's a former deputy minister of social welfare in this country. People know her. She has an organization called Amazonian Initiative. She started us. She pioneered this, right?
Okay.
Going basically, because she is part of the culture, having the ability to go into communities and talk and say, we can do this. This is what we can do this without the harm.
That part.
It is possible. We could do everything, all the things that everybody wants to go get involved in.
So did she have a bad experience?
Dancing,
is that what it is?
Well, I mean, she's a survivor, so she could tell you about her own experience. But
right, because what I'm saying,
her motivation is that this is not a beneficial thing. Right?
Okay.
I know my experience. I'm talking about paraphrasing her.
Right.
And this is not a beneficial thing, but our culture is beautiful. And I want us to preserve our culture. I want us to focus on our culture. I want our girls to go to school. So rather than, be focusing on building the Bondo bush, let's build a school, right? And let's take the bush where it's supposed to be to the bush. Shouldn't be in your backyard or, some other place. It should be where, and it should be a sacred space for women, not having politicians involved, because now, of course, it's all very political, not having men involved. Why do you have a Sowe council when, we don't know what the poor men are doing? Nobody knows, right?
No, that one we don't know.
That's the thing. So if it's just about women, why are men involved in this? Should be a women's only space. And it should be women and not children. What are you teaching a 6-year-old about how to prepare for the
future? That's true, that part, because if you ask me, I didn't know what the hell was going on.
You were just having fun.
I was just having fun with it.
So the peer pressure is involved.
Supposedly, if you not go Bondo, that means, like I say, you don't hang with the crew, for Socti's big one. Some of them were just fitty eye and everything in the way, we want to be part of that clan. So it was more like, I remember I made to go tell me, Gani say, let me say for and go, but of course I didn't know, I was innocent. I remember they even lied about me, said, go give me chicken because I love chicken. And I found the chicken, they go, and after it all, it was more like, okay, it still didn't really kick in till maybe when I got older. That's when you start to realize certain things. But whatever it is, as far as I'm concerned, it's, I think with the sexual part of it, I think is all in your mind, but you're right. We should have a culture without all of those things because I've heard people are dying from it. People have survived from it. The younger ones, like for us, you say it growing away. So, some people are getting older, so it's different. Have you guys gone to these people, like the ones in the community, like the Sowes? How do they feel about you trying to stop this?
Well, obviously, again, and that's why the people who are in the forefront pushing and the activists are survivors. Okay. For someone like me who is not a part of my culture per se, right? But my position is I'm Sierra Leonean, so all culture is part of my culture. That's my position. Are merely there as allies, right? My only interest in the conversation is that there's a harm that's being done. Otherwise, you could say it's none of my business, right? But the women, you're talking about communities, the women who are in the communities, who are having these conversations, who talk to Sowes, who get Sowes to change their mindset, put down the tools, do something else, be involved in the Bondo without blood, are women of the culture. Not us. I'm not the one talking to Sowes. It's the women of the culture. Okay. Right? So it is led by them. Okay. It is their experience. And everybody's experience. And so this conversation is so fraught with tension in Sierra Leone. It can bring such bad feeling when you start talking because people have different, you think you're trying to downgrade somebody's culture or you're trying to make somebody feel either less than or not less than. It turns into a conversation of the cut versus the uncut and, a whole host of things to divide women. And it shouldn't never be about division. There's only a conversation because there's a harm. There's a harm in it. And why is there a harm? How can you say there's a harm? Because people, the ones who are harmed, are the ones who speak. And then sometimes they cannot speak for themselves because they're dead. And so somebody has to speak for them.
Okay, so you guys are doing that.
Well, it's not just us. When you say you guys, it's not just us. We're just, as an organization, we're an ally. We're just a cog in a wheel. There are, for example, there's an organization called the Forum Against Harmful Practices in Sierra Leone. Okay. Which is made up of over 21 organizations, Sierra Leonean organizations, that are anti-FGM activists. Okay. So it's not just, and we're a member of this forum.
Okay, so
you know.
basically, a lot of people are really trying to take it across, borders and talk to these people. Well, I mean, hopefully, eventually, some will listen, some wouldn't. Like you said, I mean, I hope
Culture
we're able.
is fluid.
Yeah.
Any culture that is static, that doesn't change, eventually does die. There's nothing about Sierra Leone that is the same way that it's been since the beginning of time.
Okay.
Everything changes. So we're not just stuck. You just by saying culture doesn't mean that the world ends and that's it,
Right.
and nothing changes. My belief is that, like I said, we have a position, but Sierra Leone is moving because coming up, we have an amendment to a law which has been championed by the Ministry of Social Welfare. That at the very least, Sierra Leone's position has always been, this is our culture, and they've made this pronouncement in the public, in the global arena, that this is our culture, but we do believe in protecting our children. So this is not something that should be the purview of children. So it should be outlawed for anyone under the age of 18. Now that's low-hanging fruit, but we'll take it, because at the very least, a country, a society, should be able to protect its children.
True, I agree.
Whether it's protecting them from FGM, to protecting them from being forced into marriages before they should be, so that girls can concentrate on their education and building themselves. Whether it's protecting its citizens in terms of giving them the full access of options to reproductive health care. All of that is part of the state's responsibilities.
Right.
And it should be our collective responsibility as citizens towards each other as well. Okay. So I'm all for that. And I know it's going to happen. This is not far in the future business, so.
Therefore, I pay Nicky as part of it, but anyways, the good work, because I'll be right back after this commercial break.
Hi, I am Leo, a super geek who's obsessed with artificial intelligence. I'm sure you're wondering how I got here.
Hi, Tony. It's been hard trying to find a quick way to send the cash across to you. The bank is quite far from where I stay.
Girl, I'm trying to call that pop-up shop I saw on IG. I need them shoes for a party this weekend.
Wait a minute. I can solve all these problems. All I have to do is get back to my geek zone and get cracking. That's how I created this great virtual solution. Chat with me on Facebook Messenger and experience a whole new world of banking solutions without going to the bank. Make transfers, buy airtime, get account statements, and more. After all, going to the bank is boring. Like, I can't drink this delicious coffee and fill a teller at the same time. Get it?
We're almost at the end of the show. Welcome back to Keister, the Real Talk Show. With me, I have Nicky Spencer-Coker. Before we went on the break, of course, we were talking about FGM, Bondo Society, and so many other things that she's doing.
I'm going to get into so much trouble.
And earlier she mentioned, of course, stopping early child marriages and, of course, abortion. Let's go to you guys trying to stop that. Like you said something about, you want to be able to give, of course, the girls their rights, like protect the girls and things like that. So how far have you gone with it?
Which one of the ones?
The early child marriages.
Again, let's not say you guys, because it's not us.
You throw
it's a whole bunch of people. So you're gonna have a whole bunch of people mad at me, like, when I want to credits for no, it's not us.
Salomon and credits. Well, all the organizations.
Just part of the movement that has been decades in the making with women's rights activists in Sierra Leone pushing to do those kinds of things. By the way, it's also a huge platform or point for the First Lady of Sierra Leone.
Okay.
Ending child marriage is one of her big things. In fact, she goes as far as saying that child marriage is rape, which is, by the way, something that I believe, because, in fact, even by law, it is. Unfortunately, we have an exception in the law that allows marriages of children with parental consent. Okay. Yes, that's the current. But the amendment that's being put forward, it's already done to go to Parliament. That's being championed. It's by the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs. Has basically outlaws marriage of anyone, boy or girl, under the age of 18. So the official age of marriage in Sierra Leone will be 18. Don't bother anybody. They're not 18 yet. Leave the girl alone. Let her go to school.
Well, you talked about the parents' consent.
Yeah.
Don't you think most of these early marriages are consented by the parents? Those are the parents that can go bring the family in and come already.
Well, that's the law now.
Oh, the law now. Okay.
So the amendment.
But then it will continue. That's what I'm saying.
No,
Don't you think?
The amendment will outlaw that. It will remove the exception. It will say that it is it's illegal. It's unlawful to give consent anybody to anyone. You just can't do it. It's unlawful. Right now, it's lawful. But with the amendment, once the statutory age of marriage is set, it will then be unlawful for you to either contract one, to induce one, to get involved in one, whatever the case may be.
All right, so the legal age gap will be 18. Is that what you're saying?
That's
so
what
parents are not trying more. You know, it's not in effect, but it's getting there. Yeah. So also earlier we talked about, having the girls' right to contraceptives. That's another thing. Like you guys are fighting or saying it's okay for a girl to, we're talking about abortion now, basically.
Well, we're not talking about just about girls. So let's so specifically for sexual and reproductive health and rights. This is an issue that is across the board for all Sierra Leoneans, right? Ellen, I know you know, when you talk to young people, boys, girls, and even older people, the lack of knowledge when it comes to reproduction, reproductive system, sexual health, sexual whatever is sometimes a bit shocking. Yeah. That's because people are not getting the information that they need early enough in the correct format, not so that where you paddy the story where you tell you about, if you go, was over something, this go happen, all kind of story there.
Yeah.
Whatever.
If you pass so, if you touch so,
whatever,
it's sad.
We have to, as Sierra Leoneans, recognize that this information is about health and safety and saving lives. It's not a sentimental, religious conversation. In a country in which you already have a high teenage pregnancy rate, you have a pretty uncomfortable high rate of sexual offenses. You already have now a growing HIV prevalence rate in this country. You have STIs that children get at shockingly young ages.
I know about that.
You have complications that from unsafe abortions that then impact on maternal mortality because people bleed to death and all sorts of things that impact on and women's ability to have children. All those sorts of things. The lack of ability of women to be able to space their children because they don't have the correct information or they don't have the access to the correct sort of contraception or contraception that is affordable. These are issues that don't just affect girls. It affects women, it affects boys, it affects men. And so, if you want a healthy, developed country for the future, you have to address it. People have to be given information and they have to be given choices. And one of those choices is the ability to safely terminate a pregnancy lawfully. Right now, it is illegal in this country to terminate a pregnancy for whatever reason, despite what the doctors think, because for some reason...
Because I was going to say the doctors are doing it, so it's illegal. You know what I mean?
The law as it stands right now, which is an old 1865, I'm telling you, 1865 law doesn't have any exceptions for the life of the mother or some, it doesn't. It doesn't have them. Now, the reality is, it's always a money game.
So the one to make money, they do it.
Women who have access to money, to resources, will always be able to quietly get access to a safe method of termination of a pregnancy, even though the fact that it's illegal in this country. It is the poorest women who then
is
have to suffer
suffering.
the consequences
Yeah.
because they don't have access, because it's illegal, and so then they resort where they're desperate to
when
crazy
they go
things.
to-
Cassava sticks, bottles.
Bottles, I heard about bottles.
All sorts.
I didn't call them
Soda, bleach.
Now I talk about
All
soda,
sorts.
some soap,
Yes.
all these things because they're desperate, like you say,
Yes.
they can't really afford it. So,
And
I
so-
mean, how far is it, the
Well,
law going?
and the interesting thing is, because sometimes when activists speak, it's like, Western money, the activists, look, I get accents. You can't talk about you, not you, no can talk. Well, in this, the people in the forefront of this are the medical professionals because they see the complications.
Okay.
They see the statistics that you might see in a book, black and white. They see the reality before them. So the Ministry of Health and Sanitation is in the forefront, of trying to, ensure. And most people would know, it was public, that in June of 2022, His Excellency, our President, green-lighted his cabinet's approval for the drafting of a safer motherhood and reproductive health bill for Sierra Leone.
Great.
And that's in the process, been done, and we hope that it moves to the
I was
next
going to
stage
say,
with
when do
the
we
passage
expect
of-
this to
with
actually go
Parliament.
into effect? Do we have it in time
Well,
frame?
we went through elections,
Okay.
and so everything was kind of like on hold.
On hold, but you guys are going to keep
But
going.
we're done with elections, and thankfully, all parties are in their seats.
Yep.
So, as
So we can move.
say, we move.
Right, we move. So now let's, let me go back to you, Nikki, the
Yeah.
power woman. With everything that you're doing, all of these things, I mean, you have a day job, like you doing so many. How are you able to balance it out? Like, how do you have fun? When do you have fun? You have kids, you have a family. I know you always talk about your sister, your mother, and everything else. How are you able to just live life in the process of all of this?
Necessity is the mother of all invention. You ever heard that one? Necessity is the mother of invention.
Okay.
Yeah, so what? You think I like running around like a crazy person all over the place?
Of course not.
With 4 different jobs. I'm making
Imagine.
ends meet. I'm doing what I need to do. I love what I do, yes.
Okay.
And, I have different things that I like to get involved in. It's just not just the law. It's not just, there are different things I want to be involved in. And I love the company of women. So I'm always involved in organizations that have, or with other women.
Okay.
So when people say stuff like, "Oh, man, and this, what's in step," and I always find it the strangest conversation because that's,
because you have friends that support, but a lot of people are going through it. Women don't support women.
Yeah, well,
so because
I mean,
you're in that organization doesn't mean they're not going through it.
it's a two-way street. You got,
Right.
I think it also boils down to just feeling that somebody else's success is not detrimental to you.
Right.
If somebody is successful, I celebrate them. I think it's wonderful. It doesn't mean that, it's not anything,
It has nothing to do with you.
Everything will come, everybody has their own time when
Yep.
things come. So it shouldn't be hard to, dap somebody up and say, well done, and you look great. Walk up in the room instead of just staring at them like, they've got like egg on their face. How about you say, oh, I really love what you got on, because that's really why you're
I like
staring
what you're
at them,
doing. How can we collaborate and things like that?
So that's my personality.
Okay.
So I think that it makes it easy for me to be in a lot of these different types of spaces. I am an introverted extrovert.
Okay.
Which means that I can be out in the public. I can do all the
Those
public
things.
stuff, but oh my goodness, you can't amuse. You can't amuse. You're not there. I don't want you there. I don't want to. I need to.
You're
be,
sounding like
I
me
could
for a minute. Like
I
you
could
sound
be
like
home
me.
reading my book, drinking my coffee by myself, and in fact, I don't need to be with anybody.
So that didn't have fun for you, just being home and just being alone.
I enjoy my own company.
Okay.
And then I'm out doing other things. And I have 2 daughters who are now no longer babies. They're 19 and 18. So I call myself the queen of reinvention because I literally have reinvented myself like 3 or 4 different times based on circumstances. Because when you get hit, life gives you a hit. You find your way to pivot to do something else.
Right, okay.
And the only thing we not kite, but it come.
I know.
I'm the queen of soft life, so I need to have the money to accompany the soft life aspirations.
Yes.
You know, but that comes. I don't. You know, I think that there was a period of time in which I put my professional life on hold as I took care of my kids, and I was, you know, focused on, you know, my marriage at the time, my relationship, you know, and then my kids got to a certain point. I went back into my profession. And my profession was kind of like delayed for 10 years whilst I made the decision that my kids were that age. So, you know,
so now they're grown, they're gone.
Yeah.
So it's time for mommy to really do what they, you know, what you want to do.
And now, you know, separated from my husband, everybody's doing their own thing, but we're good. And you reinvent yourself again. It's a different phase of life. And, you know, I'm much older now and thinking about what's going to be the next
And that was
phase
my next
of
question. I was
life.
going to say, what's the next big thing for you? Like, what are you going to dive into?
I don't know, but I know it's gonna be good.
Okay, so I mean, lastly, before I wrap up the show, I mean, you know, there'll be probably a girl looking at you right now, you know, wants to be you, wants to be bigger than you, or going through one of these things. You know what I mean? Maybe she doesn't want to, you know, be a part of, you know, the culture, like we were talking about the FGM or all this other things. What would you advise a teenager?
Yeah, so always, you know, access to opportunities and resources for girls is a challenge, right? In our country right now, thankfully, although those things, the peer pressure, the pressure from communities still remains, you know, a heavy thing and difficult, but there are resources because they're people, they're individuals, they're organizations that provide that out. But the biggest out, I don't care, I am a firm believer in this, the biggest out is education.
Okay.
That's the biggest out. Education will give you the confidence to walk away when you think that, you know, you cannot walk away. Education will give you the confidence to know that you can learn something different to make a difference in your life. Education will give you the words to articulate your pain. Education will give you the words to articulate when you need help. You cannot underestimate the power of education for the transformation of a girl's life. And when a girl's life is transformed, her family's life is transformed. And you cannot underestimate that for the development of your country. So I'm a firm believer in that. When Sierra Leone gets its act together and realizes that over 52% of the population, when you give us 30%, you're not doing us any favors. And let's really be, you know, equal and equitable. I think that this country is going to take off in ways unimaginable. I mean, after all,
amen.
How difficult can it be? The men have been doing it. I mean, they've been messing up all this time. We still survive. So what harm in handing it over to the women?
Yes, thank you so much. Hand it over to the women. But thank you so much for coming here. Thank you, you know, so much for really sharing your experience. Of course, you know, you stand where you are, you know. Now the organization, I'm not talking about, you know, say they take credit just in case. But I appreciate you. I mean, good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Of course, we're here to support. If you need us, just holler, you know, my phone call away and everything else. And with, you know, all your endeavors, we're getting money, Soft Life, logo Dubai. Right? I have a gift for you.
Oh, gifts.
That's
like
for
gifts.
you.
Oh, yes, we like gifts. We like gifts. Thank
I don't want to go, but I've got to go. I've been your host today, Keister. Till next week. Peace. Bye.